Welcome to The Voiceover with your host, Dee Foster III, where we discuss relevant topics that affect the culture with bold, independent commentary. Get ready to be inspired, enlightened, and encouraged.
It's Friday, and it's time for a brand new The Voiceover Now podcast. Welcome. I'm your host, Dee Foster III, CEO of Wake Up Global Networks International, and you know the spill. Before we get started, I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, I want you to share, and I want you, most of all, it's Friday. Take a deep breath in, get you whatever your favorite drink is, sit back, because we're going to have some fun together as we finalize our series. We ain't going to denounce nothing. But anyway, I'll talk to you about that. I want to say thank you for your viewership. Thank you. Make sure you like, make sure you share. That's right. You got a contact list. Share this. If you love conscious, vital information, education, revelation, and fun. Yes, we have fun like we're going to have today. I am having a ball in this series. Today will probably be the last of this series, and I hope that above all things, above the fun, above the jokes, above the laughs, that you have been educated and inspired to make your own decision. I really emphasize that you share this with people who are a part of the Divine Nine, who are considering teeter-tottering, not telling them what to do, but just give them another alternative before they perhaps make one of the mistakes that later on maybe they think I should not have made. I want to say thank you so much. Listen, have you caught our The Voice Over Today audio podcast? Well, if not, it up lives every Wednesday, 12 noon. All of our content is right here on this beautiful African-American owned platform, April Hall, WPBmedianetworks.com, WPBmedianetworks.com. Also, I encourage you to share on Wake Up Global Network social media. It is WGNINC on X. It is Wake Up Global Media on Instagram, and it is Wake Up Global Networks on Facebook, and The Voice Over Pod on TikTok. All right, I'm giving you a chance to come in on this Friday. It is a weekend, Friday weekend. Happy 4th of July to all of you and your family. If you're traveling, or if you have traveled and you're on your way back, safe travels, traveling mercies to you. I just want to say we give honor to our esteemed beloved brother who made his transition several weeks ago, my big brother, and I'm going to be running a special conversation of he and I about maybe a year ago, where he got into depth and just got real about life, radio, and his mission in the last phases of his life. And I'm talking about no other than the Honorable Coach James Butch McAdams. Everybody knew James. He co-hosted on WOLB in Baltimore for many, many years as a co-host on the morning show. He had his own show, In and Out of Sports, in DC, that I was privileged to be on many, many times. His big gathering every first Friday in Tacoma Station. I was honored to be there. I've got some pictures that we're going to be sharing. Hey, Coach Butch McAdams is a legend. And I remember one of the last conversations Coach and I had was about his relationship with the late, great Coach, I believe it was John Thompson of Georgetown University. I'm going to be sharing some of that conversation, how he got started, how Miss Hughes, Dr. Kathy Hughes, CEO of, president rather of Radio One, really pushed his career, and he really shared some intimate details. I was honored to know the coach personally, and we'll go into some of that on my podcast, or did go into it. I don't know if you've listened to it. That's right. I get my day. I do so many shows, but go back to the Voice Over Now Today podcast, audio podcast, and you'll hear some clips. And I'm going to continue for the next week or two to honor my relationship with a dear, dear brother, Coach James Butch McAdams. All right, if you're already in, I am having a ball, and I hope you are too. I hope you are, sometimes, and all of our conversations here, as you know, are not this heavy, but sometimes when we get into deep conversations and we get into conversations that are soul searching, they may seem to be heavy. It's not intended to be heavy, but it's intended to make us think. And sometimes the reason we think things are heavy is because everything else is so light, doesn't matter, kind of like the debate, in my opinion. Anyway, that I'll talk about that on another show. But I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that on another show with many things. But we use this platform to lift our voice. That's why it's called the Voice Over Now podcast, to use our voice. And many times I am just called, everybody has a calling, to be a counter voice, not to parrot, not to mimic what everyone else is saying, but perhaps to bring another perspective in. And hopefully doing this series, that's what has occurred, whether you agree with me or not. And I've made it plain, my objective is not to persuade anyone to make any particular decision, but just to be a counter voice. That's what I've been saying to all of those who are all over the internet and even in the pulpit saying denounce, denounce, denounce. And if that's your conviction, denounce. But as we said in part 1, go quietly, leave quietly. Part 2 last week, you're doing too much. And part 3, family business. Family business. Join us every Sunday morning for the Voice of Hope Connection. Have you done it right here, 7 a.m.? There's always an encouraging word to get you through the week. Like, share, follow. I hope you appreciate all of the work that we do to bring you quality content. And if you feel generous, we ask that you consider sowing a seed. We are a tax-exempt nonprofit, Wake Up Global Networks Incorporated, and you can Zelle or you can PayPal to WAKEUPP03, WAKEUPP03 at gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, or you can email me directly with your comments at thevoiceovertheglobe at gmail.com. One word, thevoiceovertheglobe at gmail.com. Now, having said all that, I think this is going to be the final installment because I do want to have some other topics of discussion. So many things are happening, and I like to, on this podcast, be balanced, be relevant, and to be flexible in the conversations that we have, whether social, economically, politically, spiritually, like we kind of have in now, a cultural and a spiritual conversation. But I wanted to begin today, and for those of you that are viewing for the first time, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. We don't take your presence for granted. We appreciate. There's so many podcasts, really. I always say that. There's so many podcasts. There are thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands. But to consider the fact that you tune in every week, and we are a growing community. On Sunday mornings, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays, we are a growing community. So I want to say thank you for being a part of our community. So for the last 2 weeks on this show, I have attempted to, as I said, be a counter voice to the voices or to the loud voices of persons who have chosen to break their affiliation to their fraternity or sorority, but, which I'm cool with, encouraging others to do so also, which I'm not cool with. If you have had the opportunity to, not had the opportunity to review the past 2 weeks to catch up, I encourage you to go and look at the replays. Shout out to the replay crew. What's up? Thank you so much. To watch the 2 videos to really understand the context and where I'm going on this final installment of this particular conversation. If you're tuning in for the first time, if you haven't heard the subject, this is what I am going to repeat very quickly and limitedly. If you're unaware, I'm speaking about that there seems to be, and has always been, but it's because of the internet, the noise is louder, okay? Because I remember when I attended Howard, there was also rumblings about some of the things I'm discussing about the fraternities in the sororities on campus. But anyway, But the noise just got louder and louder because of the internet, and now because of pastors jumping on the bandwagon, that I just couldn't ignore the noise anymore. And that is, there seems to be a movement. Yep, I don't know if everybody galvanized, but sometimes people jump on the bandwagon to get persons to denounce their membership to their fraternity or sorority, which we call the Divine Nine. Now, catching you up. The Divine Nine, what is the Divine Nine? The group's founded mainly at HBCU campuses, and I've said this every week to emphasize the initial intent, not what it's evolved into, but the initial intent. So the initial intent is different from its evolution, just like Christianity. This is not what Christ had in mind, what the church is today, right? But a lot of people don't bail out or leave Christ because, no, that ain't what you started back then. But anyway, so the group, founded mainly on HBC campuses, began as a way to connect and to build networks, support networks, while they were being excluded from predominantly white Greek letter organization. So again, it's like every other organization we found. You won't let us in yours, so we have a right to organize our own. We realized that in 1906, Alpha Phi Alpha on Cornell University, and I did all of that, so go back and look at the replays. I believe it was 7 brothers began to organize. Now, let me say this transparently. I'm not an alpha. But I'm probably sure some of the things that I've been hearing, the drunkenness, of course, they outlaw the hazing, good, the sleeping around, all of that. I'm sure that's not what the founders of any of the Divine Nine had in mind when they founded it. Just like the same thing in the church, the things we see in the church. The stick-ups, the gossip, the sleeping around. I'm sure that's not what Jesus had in mind. So let's intelligently separate why the intent of why something was founded to its current evolution. It's 2 different things most of the time, right? Okay, I wanted to establish that, because I'm a counter voice, because everybody's talking about what's going on there. But when you go back and look at the sacredity of its founding, it was not. It was because you won't let us in. We have brilliant minds. It's no more than you hear people say, I'm a part of this think tank. Okay, fine. Same thing, same concept. Brilliant minds think alike. Right? That's the whole concept. So let's come together, and here's the word: network and support. Right? So it's 4 fraternities, 4 sororities, 5 fraternities, known collectively as the Divine Nine, made up of the National Panhellenic Council. Now, so having said that, as I mentioned on last show, this topic is not to throw shade on anybody who has made a spiritual decision regarding of what they're led to do. I must respect that. Everything is not for everybody. And I've been saying this every week. I am not throwing shade. I am not coming against those who say, listen, I joined, but you know what? Where I am with God, where my spiritual evolution is, this ain't for me. I'm fine. I've been a part of things and said, you know what? I've evolved past this. I don't see that. I don't get with the vision anymore. I'm done. But I'm done quietly. I'm done quietly. And I don't do too much after I'm done. That's been the bone of contention or my pushback on this whole stuff. Not that people are leaving. believe quite everybody has to make their personal spiritual growth decision. But don't involve me. Don't poison my mind. If I'm getting something out of it, if it's helping the community, if I'm going out and giving scholarships and fundraising and bettering mentoring programs, helping people get jobs, I'm fine with that. If that's not your thing and you just see the drinking and the smoking and the running around, and then it's not for you. I get it. But don't try to taint the legacy of the organization. And that's been the context of the content that I've been delivering for the last 3 weeks. I think it is presumptuous, in my opinion, to quantify any group of people into a single category. I don't think that's intelligent. I don't think that's mature to say everybody that is a part of this is like this. I don't think you can justify in saying that. You may not see it that way, but none of us will say, oh, I stand for prejudice. In other words, prejudging based on some information that I've never experienced, though. Well, that same thing as prejudice. Just not racial prejudice, but prejudice is prejudice. It's prejudging. So you take these group of people who are part of the Divine Nine, and I'm going to talk about why I am stating that today. And you say, if you are a part, then you are like this. I do not think you can intelligently, maturely state that. Some of the people may be like this, but you cannot, especially if you don't know them, you have not encountered them, you have not experienced them. You may know one or two out of the group who are like that, but that does not shine a light on everybody who is like that. So I don't think you can put everybody in that kind of category. And that's kind of what I've been hearing, that if you are a part, then you are this, you are deceived, you're spiritual. No. And we're gonna go down that rabbit trail a little bit today. So I don't think you can do that. In my opinion, a sign of immaturity in a sign of lack of understanding is to suggest that to be a part of a group or organization, that without dealing with everybody or becoming familiar with everybody, that you label them, watch this, according to your personal experience. Ooh, I just said something. According to your personal experience and your experience of conviction. You don't know them, but you label them based on what you experienced while you were in the organization, and what your personal conviction is, that you mirror them and view others in that whole scope. You can't do that. That's not responsible, in my opinion, and it's really not an intelligent analysis. You have to judge people one by one after their experienced character. Oh, I know John Doe is like that as a frat, because we crossed over together and I had to shove him in his front door, toe down drunk every night. Okay, then John Doe. I'm not nullifying your experience with John Doe, but you can't make Harry Jones that, and you don't know Harry Jones like that, and you've never had to shove Harry Jones in his door. That's irresponsible. That's all I'm saying. That's irresponsible behavior. And a lot of what I've been hearing in the denunciation is irresponsible behavior. What you experience, can't nobody take it away from you. I give it to you. Talk what you experience, right? Not because I've experienced it. That means if you're there, you're going to experience it. I don't think so. Not necessarily, okay? So those of you who just got what I said in my introduction, because I'm going to make it really plain. You're saying, wait a minute, nobody does that. Nobody is immature to lump people together that they don't know and to size people up based on their experience and based on their conviction. Where does that happen? D. Foster 3, where you're getting that information. Every day that happens, whether you and I know it or not, but especially on the internet and doing religious services lately regarding the denunciation of the Divine Nine and the people who remain committed to their commitment. They're categorized, they're labeled. Somebody sent me a video yesterday of a very prominent pastor who was just tearing it up. And I wish I could send him on my platform. I'd go on his platform and I would go toe to toe with everything he's saying, because he's saying everything that I'm saying that ain't necessarily true. But he, Reverend, lumped everybody a part of the Divine Nine into a total category. I wish I could call his name. And if he gave me permission, I would. And I don't mind what I'm saying. I'm not always right. But I'll sit down and debate anytime and any space, because it's not the leaving. It's you're not leaving quietly and you're doing too much. And today you're meddling in, now that you decide to leave, family business. It's no longer your business when you leave. When you denounce what we do, what they do, what she do, what he do, kind of like, let me give you a good example. So you were married, you get a divorce, and then you want to dictate who your ex can see. Ain't your business no more. Ain't your business. Things whoever they want to. The ink is dry on the divorce paper. And so that's what today is about. If you left, it ain't your business. It's family business, right? Like this. Did I tell you to like, share, subscribe? So when the truth of the matter is, when you categorizing everybody together, they may not be like you. They may not have had your experience. How do you, out of all the millions and millions and millions of people that make up the Divine Nine, how do you quantify everybody is going to have this, as I said last week, this demonic experience? But anyway, I'll get into that. So last week, as I promised, I began talking about the issues that I felt that were unbalanced as some of the reasons that people were blaming the Divine Nine on why they were leaving. And I won't recover it. Go watch the replay. That's the good thing about the replay. I said assigning false blame. That's the first thing I heard. The fraternity, sorority hasn't changed since you joined. If you had an awakening, epiphany, you changed. That's fine. But don't say they've changed. There was something that made you join in the first place, right? All right, number 2, the claims that the organizations are filled with demonic signs and symbols. I dealt with that. I dealt with the cross. I dealt with the fish. I dealt with all the symbols that are within the church. But I've never seen nobody bow down and worship the Sphinx that is on the shield of the Alphas. Nobody ever bowed down and worship the fish that most people equate to Christianity when it did not start that way. Huh? And so today I want to deal with the third claim, the fact that these organizations can't be of God because of their secret signs and symbols. How many of you heard that? Yes. Secret. Leave your comments in the chat. Your secret signs and symbols. Well, okay. All right. You don't believe that secret signs, symbols, nothing is a secret. Let me start off by saying that. It's just a fact. You don't know it, or I don't know it, but somebody knows it. So because somebody knows it, it can't be a secret. It's just shut off to me or to you, right? Like this, share this. So, okay, let's talk about that. Maybe some credence to you. if that's your reason, all of these secrecies, why does everything have to be in secrecy? Okay, right. So maintain that position. Maintain that position. So if that's your reason, I get it. But I get it. I honor that. I respect that. But again, we've got to be consistent. Now remember, you opened up this door. We can't crack it. You can't say I can't come in. You opened up the door loud on the internet. So let's walk all the way through. Don't stop at the threshold. Let's walk all the way down the hall. Right. So for consistency's sake, because I believe in consistency's sake, anything else is hypocritical. Anything else is fake. So for consistency's sake, hold that point. Hold your point of contention that it can't be of God because of all the secret signs and symbols. But for consistency's sake, and for the sake of being non-biased, not just against the Divine Nine, but any organization, right? For consistency's sake, if you're watching and you believe that, and you're a Christian, you got to denounce Jesus. Yeah. You got to denounce. Now, for consistency's sake, because if it's not for consistency's sake, you're going to be found a hypocrite. You're going to be found fake. You're going to be found biased, right? So we don't ever want to be found fake. We don't ever want to be found a hypocrite. We don't ever want to be found biased. We want to be true blue and authentic, right? Right. I know you do. That's the way I am. So for consistency's sake, I don't believe in anything, signs, symbols, secrets. That's demonic. If it was Jesus, it would be only light. But for consistency's sake, then when you go, if you go to your church and you're a Christian watching this, and most of them that I've heard are, or they pronounce that, they follow Christ, right? Then you got to denounce Jesus. You got to tell them you ain't never coming back. You got to tell them you ain't serving Jesus no more. Because there is no one in the Bible. There is no one in the Bible that spoke and dealt with more secrecy and codes than Jesus, Yeshua. Yeah. There's nobody else. Moses, Jeremiah, Joshua, Peter, Daniel, nobody spoke. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you how coded and secret it was. Now, you can check this out. During those 33 years, right? We only know about the 3 years. Where was Jesus after he was 12? He left his mother. You can go study it. Jesus, matter of fact, went to some mystery schools over in Egypt, right? I'll get into that in another video. I taught that already. But and what do you think he was learning? He was learning the mysteries of the universe, of the pyramids, of the mystery. So you got to make sure that you go Sunday, if you go to a church, or write a letter or email and say, I denounce, I'm leaving, I'm not coming back no more, because I just found out through watching the Voice Over There podcast that Jesus dealt in secrets, or today, mysteries. And the Bible calls it mysteries, parables. You say, give me one example. I ain't got time to give the whole example, right? Because it's not the point, but I'm being a counter voice, because you don't like secrets. You don't like mysteries. You want everything to be laid out in the open, right? Okay. So Jesus says, he's finished over in Mark chapter 4, and he gives this parable about the seed that was being sown. And he gives it in such mysterious tones that even his disciples didn't understand. So they come to him afterwards and say, listen, Master, you spoke in such mysteries, in such codes, and in such secret language. We don't understand. Your disciples. You mystified us. We don't understand what you said. He said, oh, sit down. This is for a select few that can hear. This ain't for everybody. I can't give everybody everything, because it takes a certain commitment, right? So he says, well, the sower sows the word. The seed, which is the word, it falls on good ground. And he goes on and he opens up and reveals the secret, not to the multitudes. Got to leave Christianity, got to stop following Jesus, because I can give you about 20 more times when he says, a man goes to find a hidden treasure. What hidden? You dealing with hidden stuff? You dealing with secret stuff? Yeah, and the man finds a treasure, and guess what he do? When he finds a treasure, he go and he buries it, buries it, hides it, and he goes and buys the whole field because it may be some more treasure, secret, hidden. I could do that. A lady loses a coin, always dealing with secrets, always dealing with mysteries, because Jesus understood everybody couldn't, watch this, everybody couldn't understand his lingo. Everybody could not interpret. He was on a level that it took a certain mind, sorrow or fret, to understand. Those are minds that are come together to understand certain languages that everybody can't understand. But anyway, was Jesus demonic? Because he talked, and certain things he never give a straight answer. They say you are the Messiah, thou sayest it, which you're hiding. You're keeping a secret. They say you're going to raise in 3 days. Thou sayest it. Always dealing in secrets. Always dealing in code. Not hiding things. There's in between a secret and hiding things. I don't think the Divine Nine are hiding things, but I think they have codes between brothers and sisters. Like a gang, they have codes. Since time and eternity, they have there's certain people I meet, we close, we dap off a certain way. We give certain signals. If I do that to somebody, I don't do that to everybody. They do that back. That's a code. It's none of your business what it means. We ain't hiding it. It just ain't open to you. Like this, share this. Follow. I don't want this to be as long as I was last week, so I may have to get into part 4, y'all. I'm trying to end this, but I told you last week it may be like Dr. Fred Price series that he did back in the 90s when he only meant to teach a two-week series or 3-week series on race, racism, and religion, and that thing ended up being months. He didn't plan on it being months, but it's such a serious subject matter that you have to continue to dig and reveal till you feel it's exhausted and people understand it in its context. So I might have to, because I'm looking at my clock. They show me the clock, and we already. So maybe I'll get to this one point already. So Jesus was secretive, and he explained his secret to his brotherhood. He said, now, y'all came from out, because you don't like secrets, right? So you got to denounce Jesus, because this was secret. He pulls them aside, the 12, and he reveals the secret. Why he revealed it to the multitude? He that has ears to hear, let him hear. They don't have the ears. Everybody outside of your frat or sorrow may not have the ears. But Jesus said one time, this mystery has been chosen to be revealed to you. It's family business. Why are you sweating family business? You just denounced. It's like when you leave a church, it's none of your business what goes on after you leave. Why are you always trying to find out what's happening? You left. It's family business. Jesus was so secretive that we still don't know what he said a lot of times when he took his disciples to the mountain. We don't know what happened on the Mount of Transfiguration. All we know is that when they come down, they don't want to come down. What happened? How come you ain't tell us? Oh, you keeping secrets. No, I'm not hiding it. It's just none of your business. That's the difference. It's none of your business. We don't know what he said when he said to the disciples, send them away, feed them. They've taken all they're going to take out of me. Let us go into the other side. What did he do when he get onto the other side? What they do? They chop it up? Did they go to sleep? Did they fish? Did they perform miracles? What they do? I don't know. Ain't my business. I wasn't invited. That ain't my business. That's a secret between them that went. Secret ain't always a dirty word. Hiding is a dirty word. When I'm trying to hide the truth, that's different. But it's when the truth is not open to me because it's not my business. That's a whole different story. And I think that sums up the Divine Nine. I don't think they're hiding anything. I just think we got a brotherhood, we got a sisterhood, and we got signals that ain't none of your business. Like you dap up. When I tell somebody that, if I can see them a mile away and I do that, that's a signal. They're going to do that back to me. That's special. I don't do that to strangers. I don't do that to people. This means something. And you may have your own signal. Is it demonic? You also got, well, okay, then I'm finished. I am going to have to do another part. You also got to denounce Jesus, but you got to denounce, I know, because we got to be consistent. We can't be biased. We can't be fake. We can't be found non-authentic, right? Because then that just blows everything. Got to denounce your family. You don't like secrets. You don't like secrets. You got to denounce your family because certain things that happen in your family ain't my business. So it's a secret or a mystery to me how you have two brothers 5 ages apart. I'm just giving you a scenario. Or why your mama look like this and your dad. You know it. That's a family mystery that will stay in the family. To me, it's a mystery. It's a secret. But to you, it's been revealed. Wow, it's family business. So I can't say, oh, you keeping secrets, huh? You don't want to tell me how you got a sister that's 25 years younger than you and you in different complexion. What's up with that? Oh, you keeping secrets, huh? That's full of the devil. You full of the devil. No, it ain't no secret to me because it's in my family. It's a secret to you because it's none of your business. And it will always stay a mystery to you because it's none of your business. It doesn't mean that scenario equates demonic, satanic activity. It's none of your business why I have a sister, I'm just saying, 20 years younger with a total different complexion and a different, how that happened? It's not a secret. I'm not hiding anything. It's just none of your business. And so as I wrap up, you would have to denounce your family then, because hopefully you don't tell everything that goes on. You have family secrets. And I'm not talking about hiding truth. I'm talking about stuff that just ain't nobody else's business. You gotta denounce your real, true, loyal friends. You gotta denounce them. Why? Because hopefully they're keeping some secrets of some of your nasty past that you confided in them. You don't want that public, do you? They're not demonic. My friends who know stuff about me that nobody knows, they're not demonic because they can hold it and they take it to their grave and vice versa with me. We're not demonic. See how unbalanced that is? But as I close, like, share, subscribe, follow. I'm gonna continue this next week. And I hope I get to wrap it up. But this is a deep rabbit hole that y'all, the denouncers, open. I'm just walking through the maze that you created, but with a counter voice and a balanced perspective. All right, until next week or until Sunday morning at 7 a.m., join me for the Voice of Hope Connection right here, WPBMediaNetworks.com. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. I guess 4th of July weekend. People started traveling last Thursday. I guess up until, what's the day? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this 4th went all week. So have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. And remember, you have a voice. Keep lifting it. Peace.
Thank you for being a part of The Voiceover. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay connected to our upcoming shows and guests. Instagram at The Voiceover Radio. Twitter at DPropheticI. That's the letter D, prophetic, EYE. If this show has enriched you in any way, please share The Voiceover among your circle. Until next time, keep allowing your voice to be heard.